fellow Christmas lovers and enthusiasts. You are listening to Closer to Christmas. Today is National Christmas Podcast Day, so Christmas podcasters throughout the network are all putting out an episode today discussing some sort of version of It's a Wonderful Life. And today, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite cartoons, Garfield and Friends. They did a segment on a U.S. Acres episode, and it was called It's a Wonderful Wade, so that's the episode I'm going to cover today. Hello and welcome back to Closer to Christmas. If this is your first time listening, thank you for checking out the podcast. If you are a returning listener, thank you for coming back for more. My name is Charlie, and today I'm going to be diving into a special cartoon story that mixes farmyard fun with a deep message. Right around the holidays, we're talking about the U.S. Acres segment, It's a Wonderful Wade, from Garfield and Friends. So pull up a blanket, light a candle, maybe have a mug of something warm, and let's step into the barnyard for a little reflection. It's a Wonderful Wade originally aired on November 9th, 1991, as part of Season 4 of Garfield and Friends. In the episode's listing, it is the second segment of what's often called Episode 73, the automated animated adventure / It's a Wonderful Wade / Truck and Odie. The larger show combines Garfield segments and U.S. Acre segments, but this one is firmly in the farm animal side, focusing on Wade the duck and his friends. The show itself, Garfield and Friends, ran from 1988 until 1994 on CBS and was based on the comics by Jim Davis. The segment I'm talking about today centers on Wade the duck, often just Wade, a loyal, well-meaning duck on Orson's farm in the U.S. Acre world. He tends to be afraid, anxious, and not the bravest of the bunch. When I was little, I loved Wade. He was one of my favorite characters on there. I think I liked the fact that he wears a pool floaty around his waist, and it has, it's kind of a weird thing. It has a head of him on it. If you've never seen the show, Wade the duck basically just looks like a duck. He wears a pool floaty around his waist, but on the pool floaty is a version of his head which interacts the same way that Wade acts. So like if Wade's surprised, the face on the raft is surprised. It's just kind of one of those weird things, but he's a weird character, but he was one of my favorites on U.S. Acres. The show's overall writers and producers include Jim Davis, but this specific segment credits Mark Evanier. I don't know if I said his last name correctly, but that's who is credited as writing this segment. So in It's a Wonderful Wade, Wade is assigned to guard the farm's vegetables, which is the harvest, while Orson and the others trust him to keep the crop safe from the mischief of Orson's brothers. But Wade's fear and cowardice catch up with him. The brothers steal the vegetables, the entire farm blames Wade for failing, and he walks away feeling worthless and invisible. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Well, at that low moment, Wade is visited by his guardian angel. Yep, a cartoon has a guardian angel. But the guardian angel shows him what the farm would be like if Wade had never existed. In that world, the brothers steal crops with impunity, and the animals lose morale, and the farm loses its heart. When Wade returns, he realizes his presence matters, his courage, and even his fear have value. And he works with Orson to recover the vegetables via the tunnel that the brothers dug. Finally, Orson tells Wade that the farm is lucky to have him. Thus, the story is clearly a parody or homage of the classic film It's a Wonderful Life, What If You Were Never Born theme. The title even gives it away. So what did Wade learn in this episode? He thinks that he's a weak link, but by seeing what happens without him, he realizes that he matters. And that's a warm holiday message. Everyone has value, even the ones who worry or hide. This episode also talks about community and belonging. The farm community needs Wade. We often think we're invisible, but often we're the glue. And again, this is definitely an homage to a classic. By framing the story as a you never existed scenario, the segment taps into deeper emotional territory than a typical farm gag. And a little bit of trivia about the episode. As noted, the title intentionally nods to It's a Wonderful Life. The parody is explicit. Wade's guardian angel is voiced by Greg Berger in that segment. The episode illustrates the frequent pattern in U.S. Acre segments of Wade the duck confronting his fears. Even though much of the show is comedic and silly, the episode brings emotional weight, which may explain why it stands out to fans even if it's not the most laugh-out-loud episode. So yes, typically this is not a Christmas episode, but the spirit of the story aligns with the season. Reflection, giving thanks for each other, and the idea of what the world would be like if certain people weren't around. So what did I take away from this episode, and what do I want you to take away if you've never seen it? If you feel like you're not important, imagine for a moment the world without you. Being there, even quietly, often changes things in ways you might not see. Fear is part of life, but life is better when we still step into it anyway. And finally, cartoons like It's a Wonderful Wade show that sometimes the simplest settings can teach us a big lesson, especially around the holidays. So I want to thank you for joining me in this barnyard reflection. And if you are a fan of Garfield and Friends, if you enjoyed this episode, email the show closertochristmaspodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this episode. And if you've never seen it, I do encourage you to seek it out and watch it. And also let me know what you think. And I hope you guys are enjoying the daily countdown episodes that I've been putting out. We're already in November. It's pretty hard to believe that I've been doing it for this long now. And I really encourage you guys to send some ideas over if you have any topics you want me to cover. Again, doing this for as long and as many days as I have, I'm really trying to rack my brain to kind of come up with some ideas. So if you have any ideas, go ahead and send them to me. And make sure you're also checking out my Instagram and my Twitter. I don't really post on there too often, but when I do, you could find that over at Closer to Xmas. That's CLOSERTOXMAS. Also, if you're looking for a perfect Christmas present to buy somebody this year, and this is a shameless plug, you could go over to closertochristmas.com and you can click on the link to buy my Closer to Christmas coloring book that I put out. It's been a couple of years now already it's been out, but if you want to pick one of those up, the link is right there. It'll take you right to Amazon where you could buy it. And if you do happen to pick one up, I would really appreciate if you left a review for the coloring book over on Amazon. It would help me out greatly. So thank you again, and I will be back with another countdown episode soon, and I'm going to try to do some more full-length episodes as we get a little bit closer to the season. So remember, the next time you hear my voice and this podcast will all be a little bit closer to Christmas. Thanks for listening.